Hello everybody, welcome. If you're brand new here, I'm Jimmy and this is First Gen Mini Rescue. If you've been here before, welcome back. Enjoy the ride, I guess you have because you're coming back for more. So, okay, so it's your own fault. Anyway, what I was gonna do today, I really wasn't gonna video it because I just decided at the last minute to attempt this. This is something I've never done before. And I have not really that much of an idea on how to go about doing it. But let me get to that in a minute. Let me read the fortune. I got it in the back seat. Okay, fortune. Let's see. Today's fortune. Telling somebody to love and act. Okay. Heroism is endurance for one more moment. Heroism is endurance for one more moment. So it's almost another way of saying, don't give up. You're almost there. Don't give up. You might have to breathe a little bit in between, but just one more moment. Give it one more try. And then usually, But anyway, so that's just one way of saying don't give up. I say don't give up. Sometimes you do know when you're licked and you give up, but come back at it and try it again because you never know. Think with it with fresh after you rest or anything. So with fresh mind, come back at it. Anyway, so throw that in there. That's what I get. You take what you want out of that. So now, today's video, or today's attempted video, I got an issue with an alignment on our roof. I probably should put the roof up so I can show you what I'm talking about. Let me grab the key. And for those of you who may not know, this is a 2005 R52 supercharged version. And yeah, so it's a mini supercharged, it's a S, But I'm gonna take the key, stick it in the doorknob, and I'm gonna turn it to the right and hold it. And that locks the doors. But if you hold it, everything works, everything closes, but you have to be at the door holding the key the whole time clockwise to the right. So let me show you, bring you in, show you what I'm working with and what I'm trying to fix. Okay, here there's a gap. I can even see the drain right there, but there's a gap in here. It's an even gap on both sides of the car. See here? Yeah, actually, this one is even maybe a little bit more gap, a little bit more of a gap. So I'm gonna try to fix that. Now, let me show you what one is that doesn't have a gap. Okay, excuse the dirt on this car. I'm not working on it, but as you can see here, it's like this on both sides. No gap. However, this is broke and I have to get new clips here. But there's no gap in between the roof and that. So I'm gonna try to fix that on the other car. Okay, I read I downloaded and took screenshots of a couple of pages from the Bentley magazine, the Bentley book for the car, the maintenance manual. And so I'm gonna put those pictures in here now. And that way you can see what I'm working with. And that's the only information I have. I tried to research videos, didn't see anything. So it's only those 2 pages. Let me open up the car because it says start with the roof open. So in order to do that, as long as your battery is strong, you just press the unlock button one time, let it go, then press and hold the second time, and just keep holding. And the sunroof and the windows will go down. Wait till the back windows go all the way down. Let the button go and press and hold a third time, and you get this. Just keep holding the button. And there you go. I think in Europe you can do it with the button to close it, but here in America, they stopped that because at one point, I think the story I heard from my dealership was that it was a sunroof car and someone was sitting on the key to close it, but there was a kid in the car and they got stuck in the window or something like that. So they made it where you have to physically be at the car to turn it with the key. But you don't have to start the car and you don't have to get in. Like if you're in a restaurant and it's raining, you could just run up, turn the key and close the roof or something like that. Anyway, all right, so what I gotta do is take these, there's 2 pins here. They're notorious for breaking when you try to take them apart. So there's 2 on each side, so I gotta pry those out. Mine are relatively new. I think they're, less than a few months old. But when I go in the house this evening, I'm gonna order 4 more. So I'm gonna need 4 for that car. I'll probably order 8. Just maybe 12 because my neighbor has the same car. Anyway, I'll order some more. It depends. I think they're not that expensive, but it just takes a while for them to come in. Last time I ordered, they were on back order, so I had to wait. But I'm gonna try to get these off without breaking them, and have my tool bag roll. And I think there's a pry tool in here, a small one. Let's see what we're working with here. Okay, I'm gonna go get some tools. Okay, I've got a few plastic pry tools, very small flat tip screwdriver, I call it a tweaker. I got some needle nose, and yeah, we'll do what we do. Let's see, maybe this one. Okay, so one came out of the holder, but it's still in the, see if we can get that. Okay, so I saved that pin and saved this one as well. And I'm gonna leave it in place because it's fine. Okay, it says that, and it says to, what am I removing? That's what I want to know. Am I removing the whole door plastic? We'll find out. Let me get the other side. Okay, it looks like since my pins were relatively new, I didn't break them. However, they're so small and so tiny, and over time they get fragile and they just break when you try to snap them out. I tried to get some of these from the salvage yard and I could never get them intact. So I'm gonna take care of these, put them in this bag, keep my screws and tools in that. So now here's one that's still in place. Let me go ahead and remove this one as well. No, it's staying in there, okay. So let's see what we gotta get here. Is it this whole rubber? I guess so. Okay, took that. I may have to take the panel, the overhead panel off as well, because I can't seem to, there's a screw under here. So I need a small Phillips. Let's see. Okay, I removed the entire trim from up here off. There's just 2 screws right behind the flap here. You just one on each side. So I removed that screw. I think there should have been 4 screws, but 2 of mine are missing, I think. Well, let's just say there's holes, but I only got the clips. I'm gonna bring you in close. But there's holes for 2 screws. However, I only got the clips for 1. I'll show you. On both sides, it looks like this. There's a hole here, but the screw actually was here. And it's the same on both sides. So, yeah. So far, that's it. And I think the other screws for adjustment are behind this panel. So I think I'm going to have to remove the side and the panel. Let's see. Okay, I think I am going to remove the trim. So the A-pillar trim, the sun visors, I might have to also remove the center because I think I see one of the screws for adjustment back here and one up here, but they're behind the plastic trim. So the plastic trim has to come off and the sun visors. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this, but we're not expected to have rain for the next 4 or 5 days. So I'm not worried about the car being left exposed. However, I do have the black half cover. I'll show you that in a second. But I do have the black half cover, and I have a bunch of 6 mil thick plastic if I need to put it over just this section and then put the roof cover on if I don't finish all in one day. But I'm gonna try to get this and knock this out. Well, that's pretty much a dead end. I pulled down the trim, didn't take it all the way off, just pulled it down. And the 2 things that it bolts to, that's mainly if your locking mechanism doesn't line up. It has, really there's no adjustment to pull it forward where the top would close more forward. This is all a solid piece, a solid hoop. So this cannot move. The top is what has to be adjusted. So in my mind, I have to disassemble most of the top and find a way to adjust the roof plate, the hard part of the front of the roof, like right here, this hard part. Maybe adjust that to go forward 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch, probably would be sufficient. So what I'm going to do is put everything back together as it was. I'm going to clean my rubber surround here, the trim. I'm going to make sure it's clean and make sure the drain hole, because there is a drain hole in there, make sure that drain hole is clear all the way through. And then I'm going to reinsert that on the car and start over. And I may start to disassemble parts of the roof just so I can look inside and see what I'm working with. So, yeah. So don't bother if you got that space there in the Bentley, and it's not in the magazine. If it's not that, I'll show you. I'm going to open the top and then I'll show you how there's no adjustment. Okay, here's the 2 screws. They're T30s, but they're solid onto here. So there's no adjustment to be able to move this entire locking mechanism forward, which is what I need for my top to do, is move forward. So yeah, that if you need to wiggle this around, maybe your locking mechanism is not lining up, the little part that fits in here is not lining up. There is a little adjustments to move it side to side or up and down or over, but nothing to move it forward or back. There's no washers behind it that can be removed or anything like that. And it's like that on both sides. So mine still lock and everything is in place. So I'm gonna reassemble all of this and get back to starting from zero. The first thing was a fail. There was no adjustment to be made. I put everything back. I have the rubber back. I didn't break the 2 clips, so the clips are back. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna peel back the top, the fabric. So I'm gonna take off the covering trim, these little plastic pieces. There's a screw here on the outside, a Torx. I believe it's a T20. And then there's one in the middle, inside the rail. You might need to use a flashlight to see it, but it's in between. And then you can pull down this, and there's 3. Once you get this trim piece off here, there's a screw here, there's one in the middle, and that one, and you'll be able to drop some other pieces down. So basically that's what I'm gonna do to expose the railing system and loosen the wire that kind of helps hold the top in place. That's what I'm gonna do. Now I have some work to do from the inside and from the front. Okay, what I'm attempting to do is, I still have to take this piece off, but, or I may not need to, but I am. There's only one screw that holds it, and then there's a clip back here in the back. But what I'm attempting to do is have access, remove the roof panel and or the roof fabric material from the front, this metal piece. I want to have access to the screws that hold this on, and I want to see if I can adjust this metal piece forward. I only need about 1/4 of an inch forward, and that should butt it up against the trim here. So that's what I'm attempting to do to fix my gap issue. I think I may also see how much it costs to replace this this trim piece up here. It's not brittle, but it's just it's a little bit, I don't know. You know, could be more rubbery, I guess I would say. Anyway, so I'm gonna take this off and then continue. I have to take this here is a, it's basically a, it holds the fabric, and it's just a clip. And it just, there we go. So you can see it's just a clip. So that's not a problem either. Okay, so yeah, let me take this off, this panel here, and then see where I'm at. Okay, once you take that strip off of here, the fabric is just folded over with double-sided tape. So I just peeled it from the double-sided tape. So now it's released from here. So all I gotta do now is go outside and unhook it from the front. Let's see if I can get you to see. from the front up here where it's hooked. So let me go do that. Okay, I peeled back the top of the fabric. You can see these clips along here. What they do is they slide into a groove right up there. There's little lines or little tabs in there, and you just have to line up the thing with the tabs and slide them in and lock them in place. Now, I think a couple of mine were already boogered up, so to speak. So it tells me somebody else has been in here besides me. So it tells me somebody else has been in here besides me. But what I'm gonna do is see which one of these 5, or maybe all 5 on each side, loosen up, and maybe I can pull this forward a 1/4 of an inch. I'll see what happens. Okay, I think I found the secret sauce. After peeling back the top, remember the hooks I told you about? There's also a cable that goes right here, and it's this little piece of cable here. And that, I'll show you when I put it back, but just kind of wrap the cable around and stick that little end, wrap it around here and stick that end in there. But so that's how you peel the top back. I loosened up all 5 of these bolts, and as you can see right now, I can lift and move. So what I'm going to do is adjust this here. I have the top closed and in the locked position. So I'm going to adjust this 5 over here, go to the other side, adjust those 5, tighten them down. I might leave maybe 1/8 of an inch because you still got the front of the convertible top here that has to fit in here. But this is rubber, so it should slide in and under or whatever. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna adjust it, tighten them down, and put the fabric back on and see where I'm at and see if that solves my issue. All right, let me do that. Okay, you're about to see it as I am. Let's close and see. Okay, let me look. What does it look like, y'all? It looks the same. It looks the same. Okay, that was kind of depressing, but you know, I can't be perfect every time. Anyway, but I think I'm on the right track. There may be more adjustments that I can make with this top, with that plate that's at the thing. So I'm not gonna put the trim pieces back on. I can still drive the car, put the top down, put the top back up. It's gonna have the same issue it had before, it whistles. So, you know, you're just gonna be whistling for a little while. I do have a backup plan. I have like a rubber weather strip that's like double-sided tape. So if I can't get it adjusted at all, and say we want to drive for a while to Florida or something, anywhere, I'm going to put that double-sided weather stripping on there on the front part, and then when it closes, that should take up that 1/4 inch space. We'll see if that works. If I like it and it works, I'm leaving it, and I'll worry about adjusting the top later. It's not in the best of shape, the convertible top itself. So who knows, maybe if we're thinking later we'll buy a new actual fabric top for it, then we'll get all the adjustments done for the new top. But for right now, I'm gonna call it a day. And yeah, it's kind of nice out. It's a pleasant day. We're not gonna have rain, like I said, for the next 4 or 5 days. So maybe tomorrow I'll get back at it and see what I can do. Because as it says, I am the warranty. And as the hat says, I fix stuff and I know things. I just don't know how to fix this yet, but I'm learning. All right, that's it for now. And as always, have fun with your minis, even when the top isn't cooperating, but hey, top down, baby. All right, see y'all.